What's up, YouTube and KFG Club? It's your boy, Big Boy Snapshot TV, aka Wakanda Snatch One, because I got plenty to go around. As you can tell by the top of my thumbnail, this is my WWE Raw review on highest. Cody Rhodes vs. Jey Uso, King of the Ring semifinals. So, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please full watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content I do on the channel, where I give you guys the full breakdown of my review, not the half my review. Follow my social media down below in the description. Now let's get started. Now, WWE Raw was a decent C plus show for what it was. All right, WWE Raw was live from Columbus, Ohio, Nationwide Arena. Commentary tonight with Michael Cole and Corey Graves. All right, it says, "Then now forever together." The WWE leads us into the show. A drone shot of Columbus, Ohio is showing we see outside of the Nationwide Arena. Former WWE World Champion Jey Uso is showing entering the arena, and the camera cuts to Cody Rhodes in a suit walking backstage. All right, we cut to Roxanne Perez and Finn Balor talking, and inside the arena, her opponent Jade Cargill is also showing as as is the Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch. The camera cuts to Bayley on her phone backstage. Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. Now this was a solid segment for what it was, but still they don't have a stable name. That's all I gotta say. Live in the arena, a drone shot leads us from the concession stand and towards the entrance ramp as Seth Rollins' music hits, and out comes Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. Seth Rollins welcomes everyone to Monday Night Rollins. Seth Rollins asks the fans what they want, and they have been giving him mixed signals. Some fans chant CM Punk, and Seth Rollins tells them exactly. He says 1 minute they are chanting CM Punk, chanting for CM Punk, and then the next minute is OTC, which is Roman Reigns. The one after that they are barking for the dog. After that they are singing his song. Alright, Seth Rollins tells them they have no idea what they want and doesn't care about what they want. Seth Rollins tells them they don't know what's good for them. They need people like him to tell them what's good for them. Seth Rollins says he wants to try an experiment. He says even the things they think they want are because of him. He says Roman Reigns exists because of him. CM Punk says he came back to WWE because the fans chanted his name. Seth Rollins says CM Punk is back in WWE because this company wanted to cash in on how much Seth Rollins hates CM Punk. And that is the truth. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare says the Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. Seth Rollins says there is no second coming of Cody Rhodes unless he is there to put him on the map. World Heavyweight Champion. He was the first NXT champion. He was the first. He was. Those things exist as they are because he built them in his image. He is the creator, he is the past, the present, and this is the future of this company. Seth Rollins puts his arms around Paul Heyman and says they know a thing or two about revolutions. Seth Rollins says every revolution faces opposition, as he will deal with that. Diplomatically until the opposition pushes him and forces his hand. And that is what happened to LA Knight. Seth Rollins says LA Knight stuck his nose in their business and he got tsunami after tsunami after tsunami for his troubles. And in a few minutes time, his dog Braun Breaker has an opportunity to do the same thing to another person who has been a thorn in their side, Penta. Seth Rollins says there are a lot of people who think they have what it takes to exist at the very top champions like John Cena and Gunther. their respective challengers, CM Punk and Goldberg, or those left in the King of the Ring, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, and Randy Orton. But what they fail to understand is that they are all running a race for a second place. They point the Seth Rollins points to the Money in the Bank briefcase and says that is the finish line, the end game. It has always will be Seth freaking Rollins. Now Seth Rollins is very delusional in this segment, but still they don't have a stable name. That's all I gotta say. Penta music hits and now he comes to the ring. Not I'm sorry. Not a bad start to WWE Raw. Seth Rollins mentions LA Knight, and that is probably who he will get after Night of Champions. Oh, and that, and and this stable still needs a name and fast, which is I agree with that. All right, so we go to commercial break. All right, so we get the first match: Braun Breaker, accompanied by Paul Heyman, versus Penta, and this was a solid match. I'm sorry, not solid. This match was okay for what it was. All right, the bell rings. We're on the way. Penta to the ropes, and then Hurricanrana take down Braun Breaker. He gets Braun Breaker up, and Penta with a springboard crossbody. A kick to the side of the head, and Braun Breaker is down in a corner. Penta with a double kick, and Braun Breaker rolls to the outside of the ring. Penta to the ropes, but Braun Breaker gets in the ring and backdrops him. Braun Breaker stumps on Penta, and he lifts hit him up, landing a suplex. Braun Breaker grabs Penta, but Penta with right hands. Penta to the ropes, but Braun Breaker with a backbreaker. He goes for the cover, but Penta kicks out. Braun Breaker throws Penta to the ropes. Braun Breaker runs to the ropes, and he lands a clothesline. Braun Breaker places Penta on the top rope, and he hits him with a right hand, dropping Penta to the ring apron. Braun Breaker on the second rope, but Penta with a chop to the chest, and he gets in the ring, landing a Hurricanrana. Penta with a super kick, but Braun Breaker stays on his feet. Braun Breaker runs towards Penta, but Penta lowers the top rope and Braun Breaker to the outside. Braun Breaker jumps to the outside, but Braun Breaker catches him. Penta lands on his feet and pushes Braun Breaker into the ring post. Penta backs in the ring. Backs in the ring. He runs to the ropes. He lands a senton onto Braun Breaker on the outside of the ring. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, back from commercial. Braun Breaker throws Penta into the turnbuckles, but Penta with a elbow to the face. Penta runs towards Braun Breaker, but Braun Breaker lifts him up and drops him onto his knees. He goes for the cover, but Penta kicks out. Braun Breaker throws him to the ropes, but Penta with a kick to the leg. Penta with a chop to the chest, followed by a fisherman suplex cover, but Braun Breaker kicks out. Penta climbs to the top rope. Braun Breaker goes for the Steiner off the top rope, but he can't make the jump and slips down. Braun Breaker gets back up and he lands the Steiner. He goes for the cover, but Penta kicks out. Braun Breaker to the ropes, but Penta with a kick to the face. He goes for the Mexican Destroyer. Braun Breaker blocks it, but Penta with a DDT. Penta with a Mexican Destroyer. He goes for the cover, but Braun Breaker kicks out. Penta to the ropes, and he lands a kick. Penta to the ropes. He goes for the springboard off the second rope, but Braun Breaker with a spear in midair. He goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Braun Breaker. This match was okay for what it was, and that's all I gotta say. Out comes Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed after the match to celebrate with Braun Breaker. Seth Rollins approaches the ring and he tells Penta that this is your one warning: stay out of my way. We cut to last Monday's Raw, and we see Liv Morgan getting injured. Corey Graves mentions that Liv Morgan will miss several months worth of action. So I wish Liv Morgan a speedy recovery. But I know that when Liv Morgan gets recovered from her injury, and sees Roxanne Perez and Victoria Rodriguez as WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Liv Morgan's gonna be pissed off, and that's all I gotta say. We cut to Adam Pearce, who is backstage talking on the phone to Nick Aldis, but in comes AJ Styles. Adam Pearce tells AJ Styles that Dominic Mysterio is hurt and the match at Night of Champions is off. AJ Styles tells him that Dominic Mysterio is dunking him, and he leaves the room. In comes the New Day, who tells him that they have an idea for a photo shoot. He tells them he wants to talk to them about a match next week against Finn Balor and JD Madonna, and it's official. They get angry and storms off. But my favorite part is that when my favorite part is when Xavier was telling AJ Styles to mind his business. That part was funny for what it was. But Dominic Mysterio does not look injured to me. It's nothing but cap. That's all I gotta say. Dominic Mysterio is not injured, but WWE is saying that Dominic Mysterio is injured. But I know something is up with Dominic Mysterio, and that's all I gotta say. Not a bad match aside from the slip from Braun Breaker and that weird spot where Penta tries to roll him up. But a nice ending with a spear in midair, which is I agree. Hashtag WWE Raw. So we go to commercial break. Michael Cole and Goldberg sit down interview. This was a pre-record interview, and this was a solid interview for what it was. We cut to a pre-recorded sit-down interview between Michael Cole and Goldberg. He tells Michael Cole that there was no way he was going to tell Gunther disrespecting him fly. He took his family as fans trying to relax, not worried about anything. But he steps into a verbal assault from Gunther. He says the that was lack of respect that night was unbelievable. Gunther disrespected him in front of his wife, his son, the fans, and his adopted home of Atlanta. Goldberg says he was not going to let that slide and he was going to get his revenge. He doesn't care if he has one foot in the grave. No one talks to him like that and gets away with it. And Gunther puts himself in the spot of him wanting a match. He says Gunther going to get will not going to get away with it. He is going to make him pay. He is going to beat the you know what out of Gunther at Saturday night's main event, which is going to happen. That WWE is going to make Gunther drop the World Heavyweight Champion to a 58-year-old Goldberg, and that's all I gotta say. But I hope that doesn't happen. But Gunther gotta retain. That's all I gotta say. We cut to Corey Graves and Michael Cole, and Michael Cole states that he asked Goldberg if that match is his life match ever. Goldberg told him it is. Michael Cole asks Goldberg what would happen if he wins the title in his final match. Goldberg told him that it's an interesting dilemma. Alright, but I do not want to see Goldberg walk out as World Heavyweight Champion at Saturday night's main event. Gunther has to retain, and that's all I gotta say. But if Goldberg wins at Saturday night's main event, I'm going to crash out. That's all I gotta say. I had to take a sip of my water. But let's go to the Judgment Day. We see the Judgment Day with Roxanne Perez backstage. Finn Balor says Liv will not want him. I'm sorry. Finn Balor says Liv would not want them just to sit around. It's time for Dominic to get cleared. Finn Balor tells Roxanne Perez that she will go on to become Queen of the Ring. He and JD will become new tag team champions next week, and Raquel Rodriguez is the women's tag team champion. Finn Balor tells Raquel she needs her as the enforcer. The enforcer they know will make Rhea Ripley pay for what she did last week. Now I believe that Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez are going to become the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. But when Liv Morgan gets cleared and she comes back, Liv Morgan's gonna be pissed off about that. So Dominic Mysterio can be a babyface. I already know that Finn Balor's going to kick Dominic Mysterio out of the Judgment Day. I can see that one coming. But this is the reason why Finn Balor hired Roxanne Perez to make Finn to make Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan break up. I can actually see that one coming. So that's all I gotta say. But it says Dom says he missed Liv Morgan, and Roxanne Perez put her arm on him and tells him everything will be okay. Now Liv Morgan does not like that. So that's all I gotta say. He wishes her luck on her match. She thanks him and walks away. When Roxanne Perez put her arms around Dominic Mysterio, I know Liv Morgan was watching. Liv Morgan does not like that. So you can tell that Liv Morgan was so pissed off when she seen that. That's all I gotta say. All right, let me continue. So we'll go to commercial break. We see Bayley getting ready for her match, and in comes Lyra Carroll, who apologized for last week. They briefly argue, and Bayley apologized. She says this title match tonight has been on her mind and all week, and when she beats Becky Lynch tonight, Lyra Carroll will be the first in line for a title match. If I was WWE, I would have Lyra Carroll turn heel and start a feud against Bayley. That's all I gotta say. It'll make perfect sense. All right, so we get Queen of the Ring tournament: Jade Cargill versus Roxanne Perez. This was a very good match, but I just do not understand why is Roxanne Perez screaming in every match. She did that on NXT, and she's doing that on the main roster. She's screaming in every match, and it's getting annoying. And that's all I gotta say. This was a good match. The bell rings. We are underway. Roxanne out of the ring and walks around. She gets back in the ring as they are about to lock up. She leaves and gets on the ring apron as the fans boo. Roxanne gets back in the ring and hits Jay with a slap and she slides under the ropes to the outside. Jay to the outside and she chases Roxanne, but Roxanne back in the ring. Jay gets in and Roxanne with a headlock. Jay throws her in the corner. Roxanne goes for a kick, but Jay blocks it. A right hand by Jay. She lifts Roxanne up and throws her back into the corner. Jay goes for a clothesline. Roxanne ducks and she hits Jay with a right hand. Roxanne rolls back out to the outside. Jay chases her, and both women are back. Well, both women are back in the ring. Roxanne to the ropes, but Jay picks her up and slams her onto the mat. A right hand by Jay and Roxanne on the ring apron. She hangs Jay up on the second rope and Roxanne back in the ring. She turns the ropes, but Jay with a backbreaker. Jay starts to do some push-ups as Roxanne rolls to the outside. Jay chases her and she lands a back elbow to the mouth onto Roxanne. She lifts her up on her shoulders, and Jay begins walking up the ring, walking up the ring steps. But Roxanne lands on her feet and trips Jay up on the ring steps. Well, on the ring steps, Roxanne lands a drop kick on Jay's leg, which hits the ring steps. All right, so we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Roxanne with a chop to the back of the leg. Roxanne with a springboard moonsault. She goes for the cover, but Jay kicks out. Roxanne with a sleeper hold on Jay, but Jay slams her onto the turnbuckle to break it up. Roxanne on the top rope and she jumps, but Jay catches her and lands a fallaway slam. Jay holding her left leg, but Jay with right hands and lands a spinebuster. Jay with a choke slam onto Roxanne. She goes for the cover, but Roxanne kicks out. Jay with a super kick onto Roxanne, and she goes for a jaded. But Roxanne rolls her up and brings us into a cover, but Jay kicks out. Jay goes for the kick. Roxanne ducks. Jay holds her leg, and Roxanne with a kick to the face. Roxanne with a slam followed by a double knees to the back of the neck. She goes for the cover, but Jay kicks out. Right hands by Roxanne, but Jay gets to her knees. Roxanne goes for a pop rock, but Jay gets out of it. A kick to the face, but Jay and she power bombs her. Jay lifts Roxanne up and lands jaded. She goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Jay Cargill. This was a good match between Jay Cargill and Roxanne Perez. I really want Roxanne Perez to win tonight, but that didn't happen. We already knew that Jay Cargill was going to win, and Jay Cargill is going to dominate dominate the Queen of the Ring tournament. So Jade Cargill can come Queen of the Ring. That's all I gotta say. When Jade Cargill beats Asuka, Jade Cargill is going to become Queen of the Ring, and I definitely can see that Jade Cargill is going to challenge Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam, but Naomi's going to cash in on Jade Cargill. But what if Bianca Belair comes out of nowhere and costs Naomi the title? So Bianca Belair can start a feud against Naomi. That is the direction that WWE is heading to. I can already see that one coming. All right. It will be Asuka against Jade Cargill in the final of the Queen of the Ring tournament. Jade walks towards the crown that's on the rim, and Asuka music hits. Out she comes wearing a mask, and she looks at Jade as both of them go face to face. Now Asuka looks very beautiful, and that's all I gotta say. But I know that Jade Cargill is going to beat Asuka to become the Queen of the Ring in 2025. So Jade Cargill can challenge Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam. That way that Jade Cargill can become the WWE Women's Champion. Then Naomi can cash in her Money in the Bank on Jade Cargill. But what if Bianca Belair comes out and costs Naomi the title? So Bianca Belair can start a feud against Naomi. And I'm just speaking facts by myself. All right. That wasn't a very good match between Roxanne Perez and Jericho Gill. I know what they were trying to do, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. Jade Cargill in the final Queen of the Ring, they could be looking, to really push her. Hashtag WWE Raw. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Sheamus is with the Alpha Academy and Natalia. In comes Rusev, who gets in the face of Sheamus. Rusev tells him he does his damage in the ring like a god, while Sheamus does it backstage like a snake. Sheamus says he was nothing in Leagues of Legends. He is tired of talking. He tells Russo it is time to put up or shut up. Russo tells him he will make him remember this and walks away. So Sheamus and Russo are going to start a feud against each other. All right, let's move on to the next segment. As I take a sip of my water. So we get Gunther cuts a promo on Goldberg. This was a good promo by Gunther. Out comes the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther to the ring. He begins by saying that last week he was supposed to celebrate ringing the World Heavyweight Championship, but Goldberg come out and told him that he was next. Gunther says he did a lot of thinking. He thought about what it means to be next. Usually it means being speared. 1, 2, 3, and that's it. He says Goldberg is the most destructive man of his generation, but it's not 1999 anymore. It's 2025, and right now he is that guy. Gunther says he is the best professional wrestler in the company, and the title proves it. But there is nothing Goldberg can say that would change his perception of him. And that perception, he sees a 50-year-old one trick pony that can't not lace his boots. Gunther apologized to Goldberg's wife and son for everything he is going to do the man that used to be Goldberg. He says he says he is not like anyone he ever stepped in the ring with. He is the responsibility that makes sure that the legacy in the midst of Bill Goldberg forever dies. He drops the microphone and leaves the ring. That was a good segment by Gunther. But like I said just now, I do not want to see Goldberg become World Heavyweight Championship by Saturday night's main event. So Gunther has to retain at Saturday night's main event. If WWE makes Gunther drop the title to Goldberg, I'm going to crash out. All right, let's move on. So we get Becky Lynch, Sami Zayn, and Karrion Kross. Jackie Redmond is backstage with Becky Lynch. She tells Jackie Redmond she just saw Bayley and Lyra Kira compare against her, and she walks away. She stops Sami Zayn, and she asks him how he is processing his loss from SmackDown. Before Sami Zayn could speak, in comes Karrion Kross and Scarlett. He tells Sami Zayn he believed what he said last week, but what happened was that Sami Zayn wrestled the Viper Randy Orton and he lost. He tells Sami Zayn that he will never be world heavyweight champion. Sami Zayn looks at him and he tells him, okay. He hits him with their right hand. That was a mean right hand by Sami Zayn. He tells Karrion Kross he is done talking to him. He talks to Adam Pearce. That match is official. He tells Karrion Kross TikTok and walks away. Scarlett and Karrion Kross look at each other and laugh. Karrion Kross tells her he got him. So they're gonna have a match at Night of Champions between Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. And I can see Karrion Kross going over Sami Zayn. That's all I gotta say. A very good promo from Gunther. I'm a big fan of his, and it was the kind of promo about Goldberg that was needed. He did well in hyping up the match. Hashtag WWE. The Night of Champions this year is the worst, man. It's the worst WWE. It's the worst booking for Night of Champions. I thought that Night of Champions was supposed to make every championship will be defended. Now they doing the Street Profits dirty, and I do not like that. WWE is doing the Street Profits dirty. So you mean to tell me that the Street Profits does not have a tag team championship title match? So the Street Profits cannot defend the WWE Tag Team Champions? I don't get it. But WWE is doing the Street Profits dirty, and I do not know why. Somebody tell me down below in the comment section, because I do not know why. All right, so we go to commercial break. So we get the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship match: Becky Lynch versus Bayley, and this match right here, this was a decent match, but the ending was predictable. All right, the bell rings. We're underway. Bayley gets Becky Lynch in the corner and hits her with right hands. Bayley with an elbow to the back of Becky Lynch. She goes for another one, but Becky Lynch rolls her out of the rolls out of it and goes for a disarm her. Bayley gets out of it. Bayley goes for a Rhodes plant, but Becky Lynch trips her up. Becky Lynch on the apron, but Bayley hangs her up on the second rope, and Becky Lynch falls to the outside. Bayley slams Becky Lynch face first into the barricade and back into the ring. She climbs the second rope and goes for a double axe, but Becky Lynch catches her. She goes for to disarm her, but Bayley with right hands. Bayley climbs the second rope, but Becky Lynch slams Bayley's arm onto the top rope and she falls to the outside. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Becky Lynch with a running knee, followed by a modified side slam. She goes for the cover, but Becky Lynch kicks out. Bayley goes for Bayley to belly, but Becky Lynch lands on her feet and lands a backdrop. Both women back up, and Bayley with a sunset flip into the turnbuckle. She goes for the cover, but Becky Lynch kicks out. Bayley climbs the top rope, but Becky Lynch with right hands. Becky Lynch climbs the second rope, and she lands a suplex. She goes for the cover. I'm sorry. She goes for the armbar and tries to go for disarm her, but Bayley gets out of it. Bayley goes for the cover, but Becky Lynch kicks out. Bayley gets Becky Lynch in a half crab, but Becky Lynch makes it to the ropes. Bayley with the forearm to the face, and both women exchange right hands. But Bayley with a manhandle slam. Becky Lynch rolls out of the ring as Bayley was going for the cover. Bayley, Bayley to the outside, but Becky Lynch throws her over the announcer table. Becky Lynch grabs steel chairs and she places them on the top of Bayley. Becky Lynch gets back into the ring, and out comes Lyra Carroll, who tries to help Bayley up. Becky Lynch to the outside, and she hits Lyra Carroll with a right hand. Becky Lynch back in the ring. Lyra Carroll to the ring apron. Bayley rolls Lyra Carroll back. Bayley but Bayley pulls Lyra Carroll down and gets on the ring apron. Becky Lynch knocks her down, and Becky Lynch with a baseball slide onto Lyra Carroll. Bayley throws Becky Lynch over the announcer table. She grabs her and throws her into the ring post. She throws Becky Lynch into the barricade and back into the ring. Bayley climbs the top rope, but in comes Lyra Carroll, who hits Becky Lynch with right hands, and the referee calls for the bell. The winner by disqualification, Becky Lynch. I know that Bayley was so pissed off that Lyra Carroll Bayley the title, cost Bayley the WWE Women's Championship. Not WWE Women's Championship, the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. I know Bayley's so pissed off. Now I'm seeing something. that WWE is teasing Lyra Cure to turn heel so Lyra Cure can start a feud against Bayley. I can definitely see that. But this was a a decent match, but we already know that Becky Lynch is going to retain. But that match itself was decent, but very predictable at the end. Bayley gets angry at Lyra Cure and they argue in the ring, with Becky Lynch smiling at ringside. A predictable ending to Becky Lynch against Bayley. I thought they would turn Lyra Cure heel and have her feud with Bayley. It looks like we could be getting that. Not a bad match at all, and they are trying to do something with Lyra Cure. Hashtag WWE Raw, which is I like that. I already know that WWE is teasing Lyra Cure to turn heel to start a feud against Bayley. I can already see that. Why don't you make it a true threat match out of champions? It'll make total sense, in my opinion. So we go to commercial break. Chad Gable's with Ivy Nine. Chad Gable motivates her, but Chad Gable sees Penta. He tells Penta that it was his pleasure to watch Braun Breaker destroy him earlier tonight. Penta pushed him, and Gable goes for a right hand. Penta ducks and snaps Penta's arm, and comes WWE officials who breaks it up. Raquel Rodriguez comes out to the ring and she looks angry. She tells Rhea that she can drag her out there with her nose ring, or she can come out and get beaten. Rhea Ripley's music hits, and out she comes, marching to the ring. Rhea Ripley gets in the ring and hits Raquel Rodriguez with a right hand. A big boot by Rhea Ripley, and Raquel Rodriguez rolls to the outside of the ring. Rhea Ripley to the outside, but Raquel spills her into the ring apron, and she throws her over the timekeeper's area. Raquel Rodriguez pulls a table from under the ring. Raquel turns around and Rhea Ripley climbs the announcer table and hits her with the right hand. She throws Raquel into the ring steps. Rhea Ripley sets the table up in the ring. Rhea Ripley goes for the riptile goes through the table, but out comes Roxanne Perez. Rhea Ripley lifts her up and slams her face first on the turnbuckle. Rhea Ripley turns around and Raquel Rodriguez hits her with the T-job through the table. So we go to commercial break. So next week we're going to get Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight match next week. I can already see that. All right. Adam Pearce is backstage, and in comes Rhea Ripley. She tells him she wants Raquel Rodriguez, and he tells her she has Raquel as Rhea Ripley tells him it's official and walks away. All right, so we get the main event of the evening, King of the Ring match, Cody Rhodes versus Jey Uso. This was a very good main event match right here. But let me take a sip of my water. All right, so Raquel Rodriguez was mad that Rhea Ripley cost her the Queen of the Ring tournament. So I think it's gonna be a street fight match next week between Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley, and I know Roxanne Perez is gonna get involved. So that's all I gotta say. But let me get to this main event match right here. So we get the Queen of, I'm sorry, not Queen. So we get the King of the Ring main event match right here. Cody Rhodes versus Jey Uso. Very good main event match. This match was physical at the same time. All right, the bell rings. We're underway. Both men shake hands and Cody throws Jey Uso to the ropes, but Jey Uso with a shoulder tackle. Jey Uso gets back up, but Cody Rhodes trips him. Up. Both men back to their feet. Cody with an armbar, and he throws Jey Uso to the ropes, but Jey Uso with a hip toss. Cody Rhodes back up, and Cody Rhodes with a hip toss. Both men back up to their feet. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Cody Rhodes with a figure four on Jey Uso, but Jey Uso gets to the ropes. Cody Rhodes grabs Jey Uso by the leg, but Jey Uso with a kick to the side of the head. A right hand by Jey Uso, but Cody Rhodes with a right hand. Cody Rhodes to the top rope, but Jey Uso with a Samoan drop. He goes for the cover, but Cody Rhodes kicks out. Jey Uso with a sleeper, but Cody Rhodes gets to his feet. He gets Jey Uso on his back and throws him to the outside of the ring. Cody Rhodes to the ropes. He goes for a suicide dive, but Jey Uso with the right hand. Jey Uso gets on the top rope, but Cody Rhodes with their right hand. Cody Rhodes climbs the top rope and he lands a superplex. So we go to commercial break. Um, yeah, back from commercial break, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso exchange right hands in the ring. Jey Uso with the right hand, but Jey Uso with a shoulder tackle. Cody Rhodes goes for a snap power slam, but Jey Uso doesn't budge. and Jey Uso with that snap power slam. Jey Uso goes for a crossroads, but Cody Rhodes gets out of it and lands a Cody cutter. He goes for the cover, but Jey Uso kicks out. Cody Rhodes goes for a disaster kick. Jey Uso ducks and he lands a spear. He goes for the cover, but Cody Rhodes kicks out. Jey Uso goes for another spear, but Cody Rhodes with a kick and Cody Rhodes jumps off the top rope and lands a Cody cutter. He goes for the cover, but Jey Uso kicks out. Cody Rhodes to his feet. He goes for the crossroads, but Jey Uso reverses it into the crossroads. When does Jey so you have Jey Uso hit the crossroads on Cody Rhodes. Jey Uso hit the sleeper on Gunther, but now you have Jey Uso hitting the crossroads on Cody Rhodes. I don't know, but it is what it is. But let me continue. He goes for the cover, but Cody Rhodes kicks out. Jey Uso gets to his feet and he kicks Cody Rhodes in the face. Jey Uso with another kick. He throws Cody Rhodes to the ropes and hits him with a spear. Jey Uso climbs the top rope, but Cody Rhodes gets to his feet and lands a cutter off the top rope. That was it. That was clean by Cody Rhodes. That should have been a super cutter. That should have been a super Cody cutter right there. But that was good by Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes with the crossroads, he goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of this match, Cody Rhodes, which is I already knew that Cody Rhodes was going to win, but this was a good match between Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. And I know that Cody Rhodes is going to win, is going to become King of the Ring when Cody Rhodes beat Randy Orton in the finals. I can already see it coming. Alright, so Cody Rhodes is going to have his rematch against John Cena for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. I can already see that. So the winner of the match, Cody Rhodes. This was a good main event match between Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, but this match was physical at the same time. It will be Cody Rhodes against Randy Orton in the finals of the King of the Ring. Both both Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso are face to face and shakes his hand after the match. In my own opinion, Randy Orton does not need King of the Ring. Jey Uso does not need King of the Ring, and just like Cody Rhodes does not need to be King of the Ring. But it is what it is. But WWE is gonna make Cody Rhodes to go over Randy Orton to become the King of the Ring in 2025. All right, it says a very fun main event. It wasn't a fan of the start, but it got going towards the end. Cody Rhodes was the right choice here to win. Jey Uso looked good out there too. Hashtag WWE, which is I agree with that. All right, it says that this was a stack. WWE Raw, a lot of big matches, which continued storylines. The show may not be so crazy good as they were a year ago. But I like this episode tonight, and it got me interested in some stuff too. And WWE Raw goes off the air. All right, let me give my opinion what I think about WWE Raw, and I'm just gonna be honest. Now, WWE Raw was a decent C plus show for what it was. Yeah, there were some good matches, man. So that's all I gotta say. Um, if you guys enjoy my WWE Raw review on highlights, make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content that I do on the channel. Where I give you guys the full breakdown review, not to have my review. And follow my social media down below in the description, and I will see you guys tomorrow live for my WWE NXT watching along live and reactions. Have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang.